Hi, Darren Levine with Media Halo Quick Tips, and this is a quick tip about how to reduce the light coming into your camera in a highlight situation. First thing you can go for is your aperture control. If you look at this photo lens here, you can see this wide aperture is letting light basically all the way through the lens. But if you close that down, the diaphragm or the iris closes to let in less light. Works beautifully, but there is one consideration you got to keep in mind. Controlling the aperture will control your depth of field. If you close down the aperture, a very high number, f16 or whatnot, it's going to flatten your image. Now, usually if you're shooting something cinematic, you want a very selective focus, shallow depth of field. I'm in focus, but the background's all blurred out. So you got to keep that in mind. You have other options. You also have your shutter speed. Now, the shutter speed, if you watch this, we've got a 1/30, and just waving your hand in front, it's a good amount of blur. Then, say you got that shot, you're doing that shot, but you want to cut down the light coming into the camera. It's bright outside, so you cut down to say 1/100. Now you can see the blur is entirely different. I'm not blurring my hand nearly as much. So the point being with that is that the shutter speed highly controls the blur of the image. It's a control of the image, not of the light. It does affect the light a lot, but you really want to keep that control just for your image. Set the image how you want it. If you need to control the light in a last-ditch situation, adjust the shutter a little bit, but don't think of it as a control of light. It's a control of image. Now, the best way, and pretty much the only way you can adjust the light coming into your camera, rather cut it down, is an ND filter. It's neutral density. Neutral because it does not affect the color, does not affect the motion blur, does not affect the depth of field. It just literally cuts down the light entering the camera. Most cameras even have built-in ones. Other ones come in these screw-type filters here. And you also have professional ones, which are square. They're virtually identical to the circular screw-on ones, but they come in matte box friendly, square type. And that's the only way you can really adjust the light coming into the camera that exists on the camera. Now, the ways you can adjust the light externally is using different devices like silks. Put these up to the sun, blocks light hitting your actor or actress. Or if you're indoors, cut down your wattage, use diffusion, use gels, use anything you like to adjust your image and to cut it down. And those are the ways you can cut down light coming into your camera in a highlight situation. This has been Darren Levine with Media Halo, bringing you another quick tip.